2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and anybody else who happens to be listening this evening, it is
Hey everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
February 7th. Much to the chagrin of the graphic that was just showing for those of you watching on YouTube Live, on Twitch, on Twitter, and over on Facebook Live, where we've been going for a long time. But we haven't been anywhere as long as we've been on Blog Talk Radio. That's where you can listen to us live. You can find us on Twitter at Lurcher Lawrenson. I met Clark in Chicago there. And my friend and partner in profile, styling tonight, the one, the only, Alfred Ferdinand Larcher III. Oh, wrong one. That was the one I went for.
Yeah, beautiful. Womp, 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 womp. I've decided to watch you tonight, Clark. I'm gonna focus, stare right at you the whole show.
That's what we're looking at, just straight up on me. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
well,
that's how I plan on doing this. Well, it's a lovely day here in Chicago. Yeah, probably. Whoa, get a little closer.
There you go.
Oh, so you got the fake green. You got the fake. Now we know you're on your green screen.
What makes you think we're on the green screen?
Because you're wearing green.
Oh, was it showing up?
Yeah. You have green hair now. You look like you're about to post something angry on the conspiracy section of Reddit.
This is the stuff that you get on our show right here, my friends. This is it. You showed up on the green screen last weekend for the Royal Rumble drawing.
I did. What an exciting event. You know, there was the rumbling of royals, and it was a good show. It was a lot of fun.
Fun show. Very fun show. Absolutely.
WWE's firing on all cylinders right now, and it's fun to watch. Whoa.
Yeah, they are. They've got two huge storylines that could have been WrestleMania main events that could, I mean, they're good enough to be WrestleMania main events, and that's not even counting The Rock. I did catch recently Cody Rhodes saying some interesting things in regards to such, in a, I guess maybe a somewhat shoot. I don't know. With Cody, it's all a shoot / work, Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had a nice promo with Paul Heyman last night. That was really good. It's very emotionally charged.
I only caught a clip today, about 45 seconds of it. I need to go and catch it. It seemed like it was pretty solid.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, the Super Bowl is this coming Sunday, and nobody really cares because it's the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I've had a long-standing theory within the NFL that teams that wear green uniforms have the worst fans. And,
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and the Philadelphia Eagles, they wear green uniforms, so they are in fact a shitty fan base. I've been talking to people all week. I've done some investigative reporting, and it seems like a lot of people not only think that they're a bad fan base, but quite possibly the worst. Now, being a Chicago Bears fan, there's another team that wears a green uniform, the Packers. Now, we think they're the worst, but okay, Rygar. We think they're the worst, but in reality, I mean, they may not be that bad compared to these Philly fans who, they took a cheap shot on Jim Miller. Let's never forget that, okay? Let us never forget. It was the playoffs. It was Champaign, Illinois.
Yeah.
It was, a cold day. Jim Miller did what Jim Miller does, and he threw an interception. They picked the ball off, and a spot that had zero to do with the play, he was hit blindsided and taken out of the game by the ruthless Philadelphia Eagles, and they never apologized. They never cared.
Nope.
The fans quite enjoyed it, to be honest. So, I mean, there's
I
that.
don't believe there wasn't a penalty called on the play. There was not a penalty called on the play. And later the league came back saying that it was they fined the guy for it.
They fined the guy, yeah. And then I think they changed the rule where you can't blindside a quarterback on a pick if it's not relevant to the play. And then they threw batteries at Santa Claus. I don't know if you remember that. You know, they had snowballs, and in the snowballs they packed batteries to give it an extra charge, and they threw these at Santa Claus. Now, you know, I don't know what your stance is on Santa Claus. I don't care if you believe or you don't believe. You know, your religion's your religion. But at the end of the day, it's Santa Claus. And I mean, we could argue, you know, whether you believe in him or not, that at the end of the day, you don't throw batteries at Santa Claus. So with that, I mean, I'm very, very sure in saying that the Philadelphia Eagles have the absolute worst fan base in all of football and possibly professional sports as a whole. Clark Lawrenson, what say you?
Well, I would say if you're voting, I would those you know, hang on, what's that?
I don't know. It's a Parkinson's ad in the middle of the show.
Okay, great. Awesome. That's great. It appears that you cared deeply about what I had to say here about it. No,
my finger hit a button. Let's not get overly dramatic.
The evidence supports it, you know? I mean, the evidence supports it, so I don't see how you could say that you're completely wrong. They're definitely up there in the conversation. And you brought up a point where you think they might be worse than Packer fans. And I'll say this. I've heard that when you're a Bears fan going up to Lambeau, like there are folks welcoming you on into the stadium. No, I'm not
because we're good fans.
They might not be that great of fans, but there's at least some nice folks who live in the town that are welcoming, park on our lawn, pay us for this. You know, wonderful cheeseburgers, great beer. I mean, hell, I can get a cheesesteak just as good as you can get in Philadelphia right down the street. We all know that the best thing about Philadelphia.
That's not true.
Yeah, absolutely, completely. The best thing about Philadelphia is that a movie with a fictional character is based out of Philadelphia.
The Tom Hanks, right?
Yep. Rocky Balboa.
Is
the one that I'm speaking of there. I don't know. You ever been up to Lambeau? I think we've talked about it. I don't believe you've been up to Lambeau Field.
I've never been up to Lambeau. Now, let me tell you this. The Packer fans, I would. The Packer fans aren't, but not in cold weather. The Packer fans, I'm officially old now. The Packer fans aren't welcoming us, you know, because they're nice people. They're welcoming us because we're great fans, you see?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I understand. Oh.
Who's playing random shit out there now when I'm making my point?
Touche. No, that's it. You brought up a great point in my older age. Put a dome on that thing. Maybe I'll go up there if they put a dome on it. Or if they move the season to the summer. I don't know.
They should move Lambeau out of Green Bay into Milwaukee and build a dome stadium.
Well, then we could share a stadium. It's our suburb too.
Don't ask me.
Looking at it earlier, as I was checking out my DraftKings Sportsbook app here, Al, I noticed that the favorite is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Right now, if I'd like to bet for the teams who's going to win, we got a DraftKings has the Chiefs with 1.5. The money line, you get a 105 is what it's paying, plus 105. I don't know.
I think the Philadelphia Eagles are taking the fans aside, you know, because Kansas City, listen, their fans are pretty crappy too. I mean, they're not as offensive, you know, as the Philly fans. But there's one guy on my Facebook timeline who's a Kansas City fan, and he's the absolute worst. But I don't think he's indicative of the Kansas City fandom as a whole. I'm not going to judge, a whole group of people based on one person's actions, just because they wear the colors. So,
when it comes to their fandom, I happen to know quite a few pretty decent guys. Somehow Kansas City, here in Chicago, I've met all of them. Maybe. I guess they come to Chicago because they realize that we're a far superior city, of course. But I don't know. All good guys. All good guys. In fact, trying to build a road trip next year. The Bears play at the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, anyways, fandoms aside, the teams, when you break down the actual football, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are a better team than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think maybe the coaching is a little better in Kansas City as opposed to Philadelphia. But look, the Kansas City Chiefs have one offensive player, and that's two. It's Mahomes and it's Kelsey.
Right.
Outside of that, there's not a great receiving core. It's pretty lackluster. The offensive line's pretty decent, but the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line is dominant. They're superior.
I think the couple weeks in between and what have you, making sure that Kelsey's going to be healthy, and not sure about what was actually going on with the back, if anything, if that was some sportsmanship up in there. But it can't hurt that ankle to have a couple more weeks off, I wouldn't think, either on the home. So that's good. Hurts appears to be healthy, firing on all cylinders. AJ Brown on the other side of the ball. They got people who can catch the ball over there. Smith. Yeah. You're right. The Eagles just appear to be the better team.
And then a very underappreciated and underrated back is Miles Sanders. And, Philadelphia, at the end of the day, they like running the ball. And I think they should have success doing so. Pachenko on the other side is a running back who's come on strong for the Kansas City Chiefs. Good value there, if you drafted him in a season-long or a dynasty league. But Miles Sanders, I think, is a better running back right now with a better offensive line. I think I don't think this is going to be – I would probably take the under on this game. I don't know I imagine historically overs hit more on Super Bowls than unders, but I think there's people are perceiving these as two offensive powerhouses, which is kind of true, but I mean, Kansas City definitely is. Kansas City looks to score a lot of points, but Philadelphia is a very good defense, very strong defense that should be able to handle Kansas City. And if they do so, their strategy, their base offense, what they want to do more than anything else is run the football. Establish the run, control the clock, win the game with your defense. That's what Philadelphia does. We think of them as like this high octane offense, but they're really not. They have the big plays. I mean, AJ Brown is one of my favorite football players. Yeah. I love watching him play. He's just a dominant, alpha wide receiver. Devontae Smith can make things happen. You get separation, and they do look to throw the ball. But really, at the end of the day, it's all about Travis Kelce, Jalen Hurts running, and Miles Sanders running the ball. So, and then Boston Scott getting all the touchdowns, just to piss people off.
So, if you had to guess, over the last, let's call it 10 seasons, the last 5 seasons, let's say that. How many Super Bowls of the last 5 Super Bowls, that is, how many Super Bowls have hit the over on the last 5 Super Bowls? And this goes back to Philadelphia, New England, at Super Bowl 52, then Rams, Patriots, then 49ers, Kansas City, then Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and then Cincinnati, LA. So this is the last 5 Super Bowls.
I'm going to say 4 of the last 5 hit the over.
All right. 4 of the last 5 have hit the under.
Wow.
The last 4 Super Bowls have all hit the under. The last Super Bowl 52, February 4th, 2018, Philadelphia 41, New England 33.
Okay.
Yep. And then 53, Super Bowl 53, New England 13, LA 3, Super Bowl 54, KC 31-20 over San Fran, Tampa Bay 31, Kansas City 9. That over under was 56, Al. Well, I mean, we're talking over under here is like, yeah. And then last year was 49.5 where LA won 23-20. But we're talking over unders back to that 5 years ago. Philadelphia went in over under was 49. They went over. Then 55.5 was the over under with the Patriots Rams. 53 was KC San Fran, and 56. Wow. Yeah. That's, I mean, those over unders are huge.
I guess when you really think about it, the first quarter of the Super Bowl is generally pretty dull and slow, and they always chalk it up to all the excitement and the pageantry, and then the game settles in. They always use that line. We're getting to the second quarter. Things are settling in now. And, but I mean, that does seem to be a trend that happens every year. So you disqualify a quarter of football. So really, you have 3 quarters of good offensive play, or the possibility of good offensive play. You have a really good defense in this game. And now looking at the historical stats, I'm taking the under for sure. What is the over-under on this?
I just had it pulled right up. Sorry, hang on 1 second. But why don't we say 10 years, knowing that 4 out of 5 hit the under? What do you think the last 10 years? And that goes all the way back to February 3rd of 2013, where Baltimore played San Francisco.
All right. Well, I'm a data guy, so I'm going to go 8 of 10 teams went under.
All right. So this would be 5 out of 10 teams went under.
Okay, so it's a 50-50 split.
Went over. So yeah, it made up for it the last 5 years, the last 4 years had the comeback. That's wild. So it looks like the last 10 years show 50-50, and then it's pretty much like that, looking at them historically there. The over under on the big game. I don't think we're allowed to say Super Bowl. I did use it in the title of it. They're going to come after us with all 2 of our listeners.
Well, yeah. Look, this show's taking over.
What would you put the over under at, if you don't mind? Yeah.
Philadelphia 24, Kansas City 17, so 30. Wait, what's the math on that? 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's a 1, and then you're going to carry the 1. So 30, 41. So I'm gonna up it a little. I'll say 43.
51.
51. Yeah, that makes more sense.
So you're still taking the under.
Absolutely. I'm even more confident now with the under than I was before.
I love that you go with all that, and then 51. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be 24-17. They are going to score some points, but I mean, if I had to guess, if I had to lock in a score, it would be 24-17. Close, but not close enough. My guess is one team is probably going to run away with this thing, and it's most likely going to be Philadelphia.
Kelsey's always a good bet for first touchdown scorer. That can always that's a good one to happen. But I'd say if you're looking for the other team to do it, I mean, there's a wide variety that would as well. I mean, I guess we're not talking the gambling side just yet, maybe, or I don't care whatever you want to do.
I don't know what the payouts are, the odds, but I would imagine Kelsey's a heavy favorite, where a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster probably has a better payout.
Absolutely.
And lesser chance of hitting. But I think in the Super Bowl, I think all of a sudden like a Juju Smith-Schuster would be like my guess. For first touchdown.
Schuster is plus 1,900.
Okay.
And then Kelsey is plus 700. It's the second best odds. He and Sanders are at 700, and Hurts is at 650.
Yeah. Sanders is good. What is like Boston Scott?
I like the Mahomes. 2,500 right there with Mahomes.
Yeah, that's the play right there. You go Boston Scott, and that motherfucker, he's zombies.
Big pass to Devontae Smith to the 7-yard line. Then you get that ball to Boston Scott, touchdown, right?
Yeah, for no reason you give it to Boston Scott and he gets a touchdown.
Right. It's
I mean,
it's
look.
Walter Payton didn't get a touchdown in the Super Bowl, right? Like this is it. That's it. That's what happens.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make that bet too. I'm going to throw
Boston Scott.
little money on the Boston Scott.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't think I feel like making a dish, so I'm probably going to pass on your Super Bowl party. So I mean, we just get that out of the way, right now.
I mean, the invite was a dish if you'd like. You don't have to bring anything.
Yeah, but then I'm the guy who's not bringing anything, and your neighbors are very judgmental.
What?
And
everybody's very judgmental here.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I've seen it. You don't see it because you're in it. It's your neighborhood. They're your neighbors. But I see the wandering eyes. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something, Clark Lawrenson. I went to one of your the few parties you've had at your establishment that I was invited to. And I was harassed, insulted, and degraded for drinking somebody's Truly. I mean, there was a ruckus, my friend. So don't give me this, that there's not a bunch of judgmental people at your parties.
Well, it's okay. Sometimes there's folks here from the suburbs and they don't understand how we do it here in the city,
Well, I mean, look, it was your guest list.
Great friends of mine who this little dust up happened with. Absolutely great people, wonderful people, just not quite understanding the city culture, if you will. Help thy neighbor, supply a Truly for thy neighbor.
The only culture that guy's ever had is eating yogurt.
What? My kids had yogurt today. What?
Yeah, well,
how's that a slam?
There's cultures in yogurt, Clark.
What? Oh, what is a culture in yogurt?
I don't know. I'm not a dairyologist. It's like a little worm.
Okay. That sounds good. No, why don't we get to the root of this? I think the reason that you don't want to come by the party is because there's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 children. The oldest one is 7. And then there's like 3 6-year-olds, like 4 4-year-olds, a couple 2-year-olds. They're going to be all around this place.
You just talking about these, listing the kids' ages? Yeah. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted by it.
Tell me about it.
Yogurt.
We're currently figuring out how to maximize our space and to keep the kids all in one area that's away from us. That's what we're working on right now, Al.
Well, shove them in that little room.
Which little room?
A little room. You know what I'm talking about. There's like benches in there or some shit. The kids watch their little laptops. The kids' room, man.
The playroom off the kitchen?
Yeah, the playroom.
There's no door. So we got to if we can keep them upstairs, that'd be great. But then I got to be careful sending them downstairs because we got the studio over here. And I don't want to, they're not coming in here because the place is a mess right now.
What happened? What happened to the door?
What door?
On the kids' playroom.
There's never been a door.
When you bought the place, there was no door?
Yeah, there was some little like flimsy deal, but we're like, we don't need a door on it. It's kids' playroom. We gotta be watching them anyway. I'd like to knock that fucking wall down, to be honest, and open that shit up. That's what I'm saying.
Yogurt is produced using a culture of Lactobacillia delbrueckii, serps, Bulgarius, and Staphylococcus thermophilus bacteria. In addition, other Lactobacillia and biodibacteria are sometimes added during or after culturing yogurt. So there's a lot of culture in yogurt, Clark.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know that's what it was called.
Well, you're learning some yogurt culture.
Thank you. Yes, I am. Al, much as you know, the Girl Scout cookies have come in. DM me if you're interested in Girl Scout cookies. Just saying. family and friends. We're family and friends. We're supposed to sell to family and friends. That's who Hazel sells to. But you were kind enough to be one of our top purchasers, one of Hazel's top purchasers.
Oh, you just made me feel fat.
No, not at all. That's not what it is. I have other people who are buying 10 and 12, but 8 is one of our top orders, and it's fantastic. So thank you.
My God, I bought 8 boxes.
Yeah, no, but you're just trying to help a kid out. It's $40.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Do you want me to deliver 4 of them now? And then I'll deliver 4. We'll deliver 4 tomorrow, and then we'll deliver 4 in like 5 weeks. Because I wish I could fucking do that. Because Al, I have housed 2 boxes in like 3 days. I'm not gonna lie. I have just been raking them in.
No, I deliver them all. Maybe I'll give some away. Here's the thing. Like I've had no energy for like 6 years. Right. And then I go to the doctor and they say, well, you have 0 vitamin D in your system. I say, okay, well, that's not a good thing. And they give me some vitamin. They give me 50,000, doses of vitamin D a week. So I'm taking that. I got a little more energy. And then they're like, whoa, you know what? You also have this. And this, if this level is high, that means you have tumors on some glands in your neck. So they're like, don't worry, it's not like cancerous or anything. You're like, well, okay. So I go, they're like, now you got to go to a specialty doctor. So the specialty doctor is like 9-month wait.
Right.
So I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. So I go to make an appointment with the specialty doctor, but because it was like the coldest day of the year, nobody wanted to go to the doctor. So they're like, look, if you want to come in the cold, you could have an appointment. I said, well, hell, I'll go ahead and I'll put a hat on and I'll get some long underwear and I'll come to your appointment. Well, they don't send any information from my doctor to this doctor. So like I get there and the lady doctor, not that matters, but the lady doctor, she's there. She doesn't know what's going on. I got to explain everything. She wants to see my lab reports, but my lab reports are on the phone. So I'm giving her the phone, and she's like, she's never seen an app before. Like she's never touched a phone. And so she's hand punching this stuff in. Meanwhile, the office lady's getting all this information faxed over. So this lady, this doctor has a nervous giggle when she talks. So it'd be like, oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, look. These are a little high. Let me check your neck glands. I mean, this lady is giggling after everything she says, and it catches it. In my mind, I'm like, oh my God, is this lady stoned? Is my doctor stoned right now? What is happening? And then it continues, and I start realizing that I think it's a nervous tick. I think it's just a tick in her speaking pattern where she laughs at everything. So I write it off, but I'm getting angry.
Doesn't that concern you quite a bit? As a patient?
Yes, I'm not like, because now she's telling me, she's like, oh, there's no reason you should even be here. Your high levels of vitamin D are causing the other thing to skyrocket. So, I wouldn't even worry about it. Come back in, 6 months to see if things have gotten better. So yes, I'm now, hey Sean, how are you? Congrats on the big Rumble win. So hey, in my mind, yes, I'm like, I'm concerned about this lady's accuracy because she's telling me not to worry about things where I shouldn't be. The other doctor's telling me I need surgery, but the other doctor isn't a specialist, and this lady's ectocranian or whatever the fuck these people are.
A specialist, yeah.
She's a specialist in, the ectocranes.
Yeah.
So she's telling me not to worry about it. So I immediately, I get out of there. I'm like, this is the worst doctor experience I've ever had in my life. You got to keep it the other way. Otherwise, I'm just staring at a wall, Clark. So swap it back. I need to look at you.
Oh, you want to look at me?
Yes. Thank you. I got it. I'm watching you. Okay. You see, now it's like a PBS political show from the 1980s.
Okay. Good.
So I go and I get home, and immediately, what do? What do you do?
What's
Clyde?
that?
After
When
an
you get home?
experience like that, when you get home, what do you do?
Oh, there's two ways to do it.
Okay.
You either just say, well, the hell with it. Today's going to be a big cheat day, and you eat a bunch of cookies. You eat all that you want. You go to a nice restaurant, or you're like, well, all right, I'm gonna take a ride. I'm gonna take a ride on my bicycle. Oh, but it was freezing cold that day.
No, you go home and you Google the doctor and you see if other people have had weird experiences with the same person.
You absolutely do.
So I do, and I find like there's just like a ton of things like, some of them were positive, but some of them were like, this lady just kept laughing the whole time. I was, the worst bedside manner I've ever seen, because they probably didn't realize it was a nervous tick. And I still think that's what it is. It was just, she wasn't.
Did somebody on the reviews mention that? Maybe somewhere? I don't know.
No, nobody mentioned. I mean, everyone mentioned that. Everyone who gave her a 1-star review mentioned the giggling, and they're like, what? I felt like I was coming to some schoolgirl. I mean, this lady's like 50 years old. I mean, this is a young doctor. So I mean, there was that experience, but it looks like maybe I don't need a surgery. But again, as Sean just said, the Joker was my doctor. The lady, the lady Joker.
Before I forget, I tomorrow, like somewhere around the hours of like 4 and 5:30. Could you have a delivery at those hours?
Yeah, I mean, hit me up. We'll see where my sleeping is. I've been sleeping in a little bit. I had to get up early today because we had to do this show, so I had to wake up at 4. I got out of here at 4:30, went to the Jewel. I have a real issue.
You did shopping at that hour and driving at that hour.
Oh, brutal.
That's making an effort to get groceries right there.
Brutal, man.
The show, or you didn't want to have to head out after? I get it. I get that, I guess.
Yeah, well, my weight's out of control, so I had to go and get salads and that kind of shit. If I didn't do it now, I wouldn't do it. And the cat was running low on food.
Sure.
I did run out to Des Plaines to get some Chicago ramen on Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, so it must have been Sunday night. I went and I got some Chicago ramen. I got the tetsumei, which is the dipping noodles, which is a fantastic. It's a dish that's like almost exclusive to Detroit, to Tokyo. But this guy is from Tokyo, Chef Kenta, and he's brought the recipe with him to Des Plaines, and he opened up Chicago ramen there. And he's one of, I think, only 2 people in Chicago to serve this dish, and it's lovely. You get a bowl of cold noodles. You throw a little seaweed on there, a little that red stuff, the spicy stuff. You mix it into your noodles. I had a Japanese kid sitting next to me. I watched how he did it, because I usually throw all the seasoning into the soup, into the broth. But the Japanese kid was mixing it in with the noodles, with the dry noodles, which I said, oh, that looks good. So, I was copying what he was doing.
So you feel like that was the accurate way to do it? Like,
absolutely.
That's interesting. That's
so. I got all the season of the noodles, and then you take the noodles and you dip it into this broth, this thick gravy. It's like I don't know how to describe it. And then you slurp. Then you take the chopsticks and you slurp up the noodles. You go, and that's how you're supposed to do it. And they even have instructions on the.
When we did the holiday dinner and we went to Avio, which I don't think we've had a show since then.
Oh, that was a joyous occasion.
Maybe we should have done Chicago ramen. Maybe.
Yeah, well, that's the next time we go. The next time we go out to eat, we can go to Chicago ramen.
Next week, in lieu of a show, maybe it's Chicago.
Maybe we'll get some ramen. Man, that ramen is so.
We'll do a quick
ramen is great
there where we just say, "Here's the ramen. Have a good one, folks." We're out.
The ramen is good, but number one, there's always a wait. It's a very popular place, and it's a small space.
We won't be able to deliver it tomorrow at like 5:00. She's got a Girl Scout meeting at 5:30. Never mind. After school, we're going over. After school, we've got a delivery over by Joseph's over there. down in Harlemish on Addison near Harlem. Gonna stop into Joseph's, of course. But then we come back. School gets out at 3. Be over there by 3:30. Be back by 4. And then she has her meeting at 5:30. But yeah, I mean,
what do they do at
these?
It'd
have to be a 4:00 stop over at your place.
What do they do at these Girl Scout meetings? They just talk about business plans and how to shyster, how to scam people out of cookie money.
They all try their best to hold up 3 fingers like this when you know damn well that a lot of us can't. A lot of us are struggling to do it, like put them together and hold them up. And it's just like all of a sudden you just got like the 2 on top of the 1. My thing is, I think the Girl Scouts should switch to the Turkish Wolf. Like if they all just do this, like I'm going to tell Hazel that she can go that route if she wants. She doesn't have to do this thing when it comes to the Girl Scouts. She can just go that way.
I tend to, when I do the Turkish Wolf, I tend to bend one finger like a floppy air. Kevin Nash called me out on it when I did that.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Let me see.
He's like, what of your ears are sagging, man?
I bet he calls everybody out on that. I think a lot of people's ears sag. He knows that joke works, so he goes with it. That's
maybe. I felt like it was an exclusive joke to me, but what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's in his repertoire.
My youngest has always been, well, I just like to do this, and that's because it's been too hard to figure out to do that. So she's like, this too sweet.
Nice.
Oh man. We'll discuss delivery. Maybe we can just drop them and leave them hanging on the door. So I don't know.
Yeah. There's ways.
Yeah. Whatever works there. But yeah, you're trying to get out of the Super Bowl party. It's a wing fest. Like we have like champion wings.
Yes.
The stickers came in for the belt. The wing fest. The belt is that WWE Universal Championship. What are those called?
Fanny pack.
Oh yeah. That's our belt. That's it was won by the Carroll household a couple weeks back.
Of course it was.
Now we are inviting others into the contest. Whoever you're invited to the show. You can make your wing and bring it and put it up against some of the best wings around.
Wings around. It's your neighbors.
Yeah. We got some damn good cooks.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm the fish.
How many households?
I'm the fish. I'm the one-legged chicken walking around. How
many households?
Three households.
Is the alternative household, the Carols?
Kristen, what do you mean the alternative household?
Yeah, my friends,
Laura and Kristen. Yes.
Yeah.
Kristen, Cappy, and I have the wings.
Mm-hmm.
And
what do you mean you have the wings?
I'm getting better. I'm figuring out how to make wings. It's taken a while. It's hard to figure out. It's not hard to figure out. You gotta just read instructions, basically. Get them dry. They need to be crispy. You got to have a crispy wing. That's it.
Yeah, you just leave them in the air fryer longer. Of course.
You complimented my wings the next day, and that's where I felt like it was real. So I'm asking you here. So the day after the Rumble, you complimented them.
Oh no! I just felt like you put a lot of effort into them and you talked them up. So it was the polite thing to do.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't really I wasn't blown away by your wings by any means. But I wasn't disappointed either. I wasn't like, oh, these are bad wings. I was just like, oh, these are wings. I can make these in my air fryer. So, the Clark quit on me here. So this is on Reddit. This is from Raging Bull 773 on Reddit. All-time bearers that we had too much irrational hope for. Let's see. What players do we have the hardest time accepting would never break out? Who are some examples of Tyrus Thomas from the Bears? Which did you never buy into the hype for? Who is the person on this team currently? I became a fan during the 2001 season, so I'll talk from there. Some that stick out are David Terrell, Garrett Wolf, Earl Bennett, Cam Meredith, Mitch Trubisky, Cutler. I mean, Trubisky's the obvious, obviously. Boneless wings, yay or nay? Sesame Seed is wondering. That is a 100% a nay. If you want nuggets, go to McDonald's. Shane McClellan, Rusty Shackleford, 453
I've got to
brings
jump
up.
back in too. I've got to jump back in. There's no such thing as boneless wings.
No.
Absolutely.
Nature did not make boneless wings.
They're saucy. They're sauced up nuggets. Like they're just yes. And I'll make those for my wife, but I sure as shit do not call them wings. And when she calls them boneless wings, we discuss
they're not wings.
They're not wings.
It's like meatless meat. You know, I mean, it's vegetables. It's doctored vegetables. Shane McClellan's another great one. I mean, that guy, absolute horrible pick.
But helped the Bears get a victory. If I recall, it was a Monday night victory over the Green Bay Packers. Do you recall?
Yeah, I remember having like one.
We were watching it over on Harlem at Cheers, whatever the place is called, Al, whatever it was called then.
Cheers.
When we were there. We were watching it together, and do you remember pregame? That's the famous one where everyone else picked the Packers, but Coach Ditka picked the Bears. And then McClellan got to Rodgers, knocked him out of the game, and the Bears won the damn thing.
Too much Liche brings up Adam Shaheen. Pouch 28, when we drafted Gabe Karimi, he led the Jewish Unity Parade in Skokie before ever playing a down. That was the weirdest hype I ever saw.
And he passed.
He's dead?
Yeah, Gabe Karimi. Not too many years after.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
What did he croak from?
Hang on. Wait a minute. This just in. Let me get the actual word on this. He does appear to still be alive.
Thank you. I mean, you're killing the man off.
Who am I thinking of? Draft
very anti-Semitic today, Clark. I mean, I'm uncomfortable.
Wait,
uncomfortable at
What do
this.
you mean very? That makes it sound like I've been making mistakes like this all day.
Mark Bradley is another good one. I don't even remember Mark Bradley.
I didn't know Karimi was Jewish.
It's
his mother, originally Catholic, converted to Judaism. How about that?
I'll be darned. Dane Sagenbacher.
Who could I be mixing him up with?
You know, we talked a little bit about the old people documentary on Netflix, the smuggling in the Pez dispensers.
Have we discussed that? No, I think that was just texting between us. I don't think we discussed that on the show.
Oh, so Clark recommended some.
What do you mean recommended?
Documentary on people who smuggle this old hippie who smuggles in Pez dispensers illegally into the United States, and the Pez Corporation USA, not Pez of Austria, they went after him and basically devalued his collection. And
you said you didn't find that interesting. You did.
No. I said it was interesting, but it's definitely geared towards old people. Like, it's a documentary. If you're 50 plus and you're married, you watch with your significant other.
Fucking spoiler alert. We are knocking on the door of 50.
Yeah, I know. Listen, that's why
we've got to preview shit like this. Like, we're getting there. Like, that's why part of it was intriguing. Because
that's why I slightly enjoyed it. It was, it wasn't, but it was clearly for old people. Like, it wasn't like that exciting.
The guy spent some
my
time
heart
talking
didn't
about.
race.
He spent some time talking about how people are following him around while he's in Austria. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, there he is, kooky guy going around to all the Pez festivals, Pez dispensers." And then, like, he's validated on that. Like, it's just, it's yeah. I had fun watching it, but as you and I discussed then today, when I sent you the text message about Ben Stiller is going to star in the one based off of that documentary of the three identical brothers who didn't grow up together. They were all adopted. They didn't know each other.
Yeah.
They met like in college-ish or something like that. That one, it was rolling. It was doing pretty well, and then just kind of died out.
Yeah, it fizzled. A lot of these documentaries. I watched the one with the knife, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker. I don't know if you watched that one.
Yeah, I watched that one. Bang, bang,
bang,
bang. And
bang.
He was a fucking killer. Like,
yeah. That was all right. I mean, that was designed for people our age, Clark. That was in our demographic.
right.
I don't even remember it. Like they made a big deal. Like this was all over social media. I had no recollection of this whatsoever.
I had nothing at all on it. At all. There were a couple other documentaries that you and I have recently discussed that I know that we've both watched now. There was the Pez dispenser. I think we've already talked that one out. The Pepsi, where they were giving away Pepsi was giving away the plane or whatever.
Yeah. That one was boring. Yeah. That one was if it was an hour and a half, it would have been fine. But they did like 3 parts on that. It was just too much, man. But it was definitely that one was designed for us. You know, that one clearly those ads ran in our childhood. That dude was about our age. Knock. It's Knuckles posted Jasper Horsted as the bearer that big letdown.
Oh wow, yeah. Did you already read off Sesame Seed? You said Cedric.
Yeah, Cedric Benson.
Yeah.
He had a couple good years, but man, they just like never committed. No. And then of course they had the big fumble.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl.
We just got all caught up on both seasons of the White Lotus in this household. Mm-hmm. And just finished them. Have you done White Lotus yet, Al?
I have not.
Yeah, give it a go. I'll be honest, like you may have to, fight through a bit of season 1, but then get to season 2. It takes place in a different place, mainly different characters, different stories. Yeah.
I did start the that's like a written show though, right?
Yeah.
I don't like scripted stuff. So I started the Korean fitness program that it's probably like recommended for you there, but it's very homoerotic because like it's all about like the physique. So it's like a bunch of dudes. It's like a bunch of dudes. It's like Squid Games, but it's real, and it's all about like fitness, and it's all like Korea's best athletes, the best physiques in Korea, male and female. And then they have like challenges, like who can hang on, who can hang on to this thing the longest, and then like a pit of water's underneath. Or they had one where there's a giant medicine ball, and the 2 players wrestle each other for 3 minutes, and whoever's holding it at the end wins. And there's like giant bodybuilders versus like kung fu guys with like swimmer builds. The one guy I think the longer you hung on the first challenge gave you the ability to pick your opponent. And one of the top like ranked guys ended up picking like a female. He's just like, look, I want to win the money. I don't care. I'm going to take the easiest route possible. So the problem was I watched like 5 episodes. I like binged this damn thing. And then I found out they're like mid-season and they're slowly releasing episodes.
Oh,
so that was disappointing. But
that'll get you.
Yeah, it's like 1 versus 100 or some shit like that. But it's decent. It's decent. I can't believe I'm hooked on it, but I am.
Oh, I think I remember seeing it. We turned on a movie last night. It's almost 2 hours, but we enjoyed it. I expected it to be much like other movies of similar things, rom-coms and whatnot, but you people ended up being better than I ever expected it to be.
It sucked.
We were intrigued. We liked it. It actually hit issues that like I have not exactly
because you're a Jewish guy, Clark.
I have parents from the suburbs who, and I know people from the suburbs, people from in the city as well, I guess, did similar situations with the parents and whatnot.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good movie. It was a really concept. Awesome. It was a concept that has been done many times. guess
but
who's
it
coming
was
over
way
for
different
dinner.
than ever before. Usually they don't actually tackle the issues. Like they don't
It
actually
was
hit
exactly like
things in the head like that.
that's
Not at
actually
all.
the purpose of
Like
those other movies, was tackling
Who's
those
coming over to
issues.
dinner was nothing like this. Like
Yeah,
none of
yeah.
them were.
And
Not like
oh
this
no,
one.
none of them were. Okay. None of them were like this one. And then the
This
characters
was,
were
I like.
the
I enjoyed
characters
this
are
far much more than that, for sure.
the characters were very non-realistic and boring. Like like there was nothing fun about Eddie Murphy's character. It just made the movie like linger longer. And
I disagree.
Elaine Bennis
I would
was
say that you could say he's unrealistic, but I think that's just because of our experiences. Like I don't know that for sure. I don't hang out with somebody who would have similar thoughts. Like, but that's there. I believe there are people like that on this planet.
Yeah, I just think it was just a bad characteristic of people, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It wasn't good.
Dude, it caught me off guard. It was better than I expected, and it actually I disagree, but I can see how you come to your conclusion on it.
What else?
Well, Last of Us. I'm 3 episodes in. I finally got Lauren caught up with it to get to the 3rd episode, which is tough because it can be hard to watch for somebody with just some gruesomeness in the first couple episodes. But the 3rd episode, everything that you've seen about how it's a great standalone movie on its own is a fact.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is.
It's getting all the hype right now. It's on Hulu.
Have you watched the Is This a Cake show?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I really don't do any I don't do the quote unquote reality shows.
Oh, there's some good ones, man.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like I'll do documentaries and stuff, but I don't know. I think it's if they would have not called it reality TV at the beginning, I may be more on board with it. But it's lying to the consumer. Like that people think that the shit's real. That's what's crazy.
Well, that movie we're talking about before, they lied to us saying it was a rom-com. There was nothing funny about it. There was no comedy in it.
I beg to differ. I laughed a lot.
They lied to us. They straight up lied to us. You can't. You can't have that.
If you don't think
to us.
What do you mean? Like they tell you it's called reality TV, but it's not real. Like there's fucking scripts for this shit. Like it's ridiculous.
In some shows there are, yeah.
It's all fully produced. It's like you do this, you do that, and then they come on. No, I don't.
Not all the game shows though.
No, they're not all set up. It's not all set up. Yeah.
What is scripted in Big Brother?
We're all gonna sit in a house and we're all gonna come up with these things, and then producers will tell you to act this way, and you to act this way, and you to do this, you to do that. Come on, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, but they're really all sitting in a house. That's the concept of the show, trying to win $500,000.
You're telling me that the producers don't have an idea of who they're pushing to win? Like they're not gonna come on.
Well, legally they can't. They're
bullshit.
Game shows are highly regulated. It is.
Are they considered real game shows?
Yes, absolutely. Survivor is a game show.
No.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yes.
I had no fucking clue. I thought it was all horse shit. I honestly thought it was all set up. I thought this is like watching WWE.
No.
You're telling me that Survivor and all of that, like somebody literally wins $1 million. Like it's not bullshit.
Yes. Somebody literally wins $1 million. One guy even got busted for tax evasion from it.
I don't know. Yeah, but you're
that
telling
was
me
scripted too?
So the other people don't make money?
What do you mean the other people?
You just go away for a month and you don't make any fucking money for making these millions of dollars for this TV show? Like everybody else gets fucked? Only one person wins all the money? Come on.
No, I think there's actually a pay based on where you voted out. So how long you're in the house, you do get it. You do get
paid to do what they want you to do. Oh, but you don't have to. You're not going to win this, but don't worry, we'll slide you the money on the side. Like, come on, that's all.
What are you talking about? Slide the money on the slide?
That shit can come out so boring. Like, it would come out so boring if they just let it play out as is.
No, they manipulate the house through the games and the situations.
So the game is this. How can you give money away if you're manipulating it? I don't understand.
Because it's a game of politics. You vote. You have to vote somebody out every week. So therefore, alliances are created.
What is there some third party that oversees reality bullshit game shows that says we are going to make
government.
Sure the voting's done right?
The FCC. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'm looking it up.
Have you never watched the movie Game Show when they got busted?
Yeah, but this isn't Pat Sajak up there hosting a fucking game show. This is like them trying to tell you that these people are really living on the edge. They're stranded on an island.
Well, people on Survivor are stranded on an island.
Yeah, but with
they're not stranded,
right next to them with fucking people. If somebody starts dying, they're not going to get help. Come on.
Of course, they're going to get help, and that happens. That plays out. But they're out of the game.
Yeah. I'm unrealistic. What's the word? I know I'm off base here completely.
Now a show like
really pissed.
A show like the Osborne Family or the shows Ms. and Mrs. You know, that stuff is very scripted. That's not a game. That's just
if it's a game show, it's real.
If it's a game show, there's an element of realness, yes. There are people playing for a prize, for money, which is the motivating factor that creates the drama.
Critics argue that reality television shows do not accurately reflect reality in ways.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I just don't understand.
I guess not. It's very, very comical listening to your rant on reality television. It was like, you know, I had the Royal Rumble on the other night at the bar, and there was an old lady from Minnesota visiting, and they were leaving, and it was right at the end of the Royal Rumble where the bloodline is beating down Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso's walking away from the ring. This very emotional moment, and she's sitting there staring at it. And she turns to me and she goes, "Is this real?" I go, "Well, it's not real, no." She's like, "Is that guy really getting beaten up?" I'm like, No, they're performing. Mm-hmm. Well, this is ridiculous. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it is ridiculous, but there's a lot of drama. There's a story that's unfolding. It's almost Shakespearean-like in the situation. It's like a soap opera. Ugh, this is disgusting. Like, okay. You know, I mean, that's what you sound like with the reality TV.
I guess. I don't.
You choose not to understand, which is fine. I mean, you're entitled to that. Ignorance is bliss. Not Alexa Bliss. I mean, she's, man, that girl went from being a good wrestler to can't wrestle anymore.
I'm sorry, man. I know.
All right.
I know
you checked out. She checked out.
I really didn't know that there was real reality TV.
Well, I mean, I don't understand what your concept of real is. I mean, yes, there's casting involved. There's, you know, I could see them saying no scripts. I don't think there's scripts. I mean, the host has a script, just like Pat Sajak has a script.
Okay.
You know, Pat Sajak knows the contestants. You know, Alex Trebek knew that they were going to tell some weird story about the, he'd lead into it. Oh, I understand you're a book collector.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, oh, yeah, I've been collecting books for 47 years. Well, what's the rarest book you have? Well, actually, I have a first edition Mark Twain book. Oh, that's interesting. Let's go to Betty from Beloit, Wisconsin, who's really into cheeses. Tell me about your cheeses. So, I mean, I like. What else? So, Super Bowl. Oh, LeBron James, did he break the record tonight, or is he? I don't think it started yet.
Which record is he going for?
The all-time scoring leader, beating out
like in
Kareem
pro basketball.
Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a pretty big deal.
I'm being sarcastic. I was aware. I just whatever.
I don't know. You don't know what reality TV is. Is that
matter.
reality TV?
I mean, I don't think that the outcomes are known.
Is basketball rigged?
It can't. I mean, there's things that can be done to. I think
it's fixed though. Overall,
well, there was a referee, Donahue or what have you. They got arrested for fixing games.
Because I once had a long conversation with Kevin Nash, who insists that basketball is fixed just as much as wrestling is.
I mean, he could be right.
Maybe.
I mean, there was a time when people believed that wrestling was not fixed. I can't find anything about who oversees Survivor.
Well, just type in. Jesus Christ. You got to do everything.
Survivor is as real as any show can be. Thousands of hours of footage have been condensed into around a dozen hours of television, so the reality of what happened can be different from what's broadcast. The show does make use of stunt performers and body doubles. Huh. Survivor uses body doubles for certain challenges that are too exhausting for the average person, such as the taxing swimming tasks.
What source is this? That doesn't make sense.
Yahoo News from September 15th of 2021. Just how real is this show?
Yeah, who's the source?
Who's comedic or Sam Moore?
Who's Sam Moore?
He's the writer of this article on Yahoo News.
Okay, so he's just a rando
from the Independent. To achieve the desired comedic or dramatic effect, producers of 10 manufacture and alter situations to create the maximum amount of entertainment for the viewer.
Standards and practices. Broadcast standards and practices would regulate it. Responsible for the moral, ethical, and legal implications of a program that airs on a network. Practice also ensures fairness on televised game shows in which they are adjacent to the judges at the production company level. They also have the power to reprimand and to recommend the termination of television network stars and employees for violations of standards and practices.
Okay. Now, the vote results segment of the show is designed to create the most drama for the viewer. Whilst the editing can make it appear that the votes are read out at random, they are organized beforehand to create the most suspense when revealed. Whilst there is no
makes sense
script for the show, producers can create narratives in the editing room to make the programming more entertaining.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that stunt doubles thing?
I don't believe it. I mean, it's one random source from a Yahoo article. It's just, I don't believe it. And of course, yes, they tape hours of footage, then they condense it down and they edit it to make the most relevant story they see fit.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I suppose.
They're not scripting it. They're just taking hours of footage and giving you the best of what they felt is the best story.
There's a lot of clickbait when you search for does Survival use stunt doubles? A lot of
that's a bad sign. A bad sign.
Insider.com says the same thing about them having used body doubles.
What's
body
insider.com?
I don't know.
That sounds like a made up insider.
It very well could be. abcnews.co.com. Nothing we do changes the dramatic outcome.
Right.
Body doubles wearing the same bathing suits as the contestants. They do that.
But nothing affects the outcome of the actual event.
Sure. So I guess that the events are then real, like the games, like they really play games.
Right.
And the winner
That's
of
the game.
Okay. All right. Mark Burnett doesn't care what people think. He just makes great television, he says.
Oh, yeah. And that guy's got to be fucking loaded.
Yeah. He's been doing this for a long time. Were you talking about the TV were you talking about the movie Quiz Show earlier?
Yes.
Is that what you were referencing? Yeah.
That is what I was referencing. It's a decent movie. Old people movie, but good.
It wasn't the Pez. It wasn't the Pez story. There was another one that I think you had suggested my way, or maybe I did. There was one that I had an idea earlier today about talking about it, but now it's left, Al. I didn't write it down.
Well, let me ask you this. As far as making a documentary goes, do you not think they take hundreds of hours of footage and then condense it down to the best thing that tells their story?
I mean, I know, like, that a documentary is geared towards a certain audience. Like, they're putting out the story that they want to be told.
Right.
I know that, but I mean, but they also don't call it reality TV. They, it's a documentary.
Well, they call it a documentary, which insinuates.
If we talk about what's his name, the king of documentaries, he says that you can't do that. He shat on what's the fella's name who does all the documentaries, baseball, and he did all the music. Ken Burns. He didn't like the Last Dance like everybody else did, because The Last Dance was Michael Jordan's story of The Last Dance, right?
Yeah.
But we knew that going in.
A documentary is a television or radio program or a movie which shows real events or provides information about a particular subject.
Yeah.
So it's reality. But it's crafting a story. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's never been called a reality show. Like
it's never been called a documentary, that's what that means.
Well, but
just a different term.
They'll also put out their recreations. They'll say this event has been, we recreated this. Yeah. We're telling the story from our, this is the way we see the story. Like that's, that. Like with reality TV, like with the Osbournes, or with Hogan's Knows Best. Let's go back to that. They want you to think that that's real. That everything's real in there, and that they didn't just create a bunch of.
Well, no, the audience knows going in what's up.
I don't know.
Like everyone knows that's more to your point. That is definitely a scripted program.
But I don't think
an improvised program.
I don't think everybody knows that when they're watching some of those shows, like Ms. and Mrs. Like they feel like they're watching real people. Like they feel like they're watching
real people.
Person. Yeah, but they're watching actors.
Well, they're not. I mean, but they're showing you glimpses.
The Miz isn't an actor. You're telling me the Ms. and Mrs. don't act.
Well, he is an actor. I mean, he actually has been in movies.
On that show, they're being completely real with their life.
No,
they don't. Come on.
But they are showing a version of their actual life. That really is the mother. That really is her mother. That really is the Mrs. Father. They really are going shopping, but the situations are.
I tell you that it's fake on Facebook. That Facebook is fake because we're just putting shit out there that's not real.
But it's Facebook. It's to each their own. Some people are more real than others, but yeah, I mean, some people are fake. But it's a glimpse into a reality. It's a glimpse into somebody's world.
Yeah.
So your kid's not really selling Girl Scout cookies. It was all made up. Like you cut the video and like the whole thing is scripted.
I mean,
It was. Yes, it was. You scripted the segment with Hazel. You plugged your cookies.
but we're bullshitting it out there. Like, I mean,
Yeah, well, you were putting.
She wasn't really sitting in front of the cookies. We were bullshitting
Right?
just like I am right now. Like,
yeah. So I mean, that's not real, right? That's.
And we're only doing the video so she can sell more cookies.
Right. And they're only doing their stuff to sell products and or sell views. Yeah. All right. Well, it's fake. Yes.
She's learning something from. She does all that on her own. Like not all. Yeah, obviously, I set her up here, but she sits down and just starts working the board. It's insane. Looks at the camera like, where do you learn that shit? What? She's better at this than I am. She's gonna take over. Like she's gonna come down here next year and just start running shows.
Good. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. So you're not coming.
It's unlikely.
All right.
Where am I going to sit? You have 50 people coming, 70 kids.
We are, Al. We are currently talking about. We're currently discussing like space management and how to get the best space out of this place. And we're trying to figure it out.
I'd be giving up this chair. This giant TV I'm sitting in front of, not giant, but decent sized TV. I'd be giving up my little pipe.
I mean,
yeah, but it's at a bad angle. It's it's not situated right.
If it was another 10 degrees outside, like, man, bring the camping chair, the garage. I got the 65-inch in the garage too. But it's only going to be like 48. And when I say only, like that's amazing. First of all, 48 is amazing, but that's not comfortable to do for a long time, even with a heater next to you. Yeah. Like that's just not. It's comfortable for like a half hour. Like I might walk out there and watch half of it out there, or like a quarter or something.
Sure.
But yeah, I was really hoping. I wish I had that garage like finished. That'd be perfect. Or knocking down a couple walls to create more space. So then you'd have a good view. I don't have that, but just putting it out there, you are invited.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And it's a sincere invite.
Yes.
But as of right now,
I do believe it's a sincere invite.
Thank you. I'll leave you off of the attending list unless you let me know.
Okay, sounds good.
If things change, and then I'll let you know if anything happens with space and with seats and with giant screens right in front of you, with like maybe my kids bringing food to us where we don't have to go get our own food.
Oh, please. Those kids aren't being waiters and waitresses. That shit never works. No, and then it's always a whole production. It's a reality show at that point.
Yeah, they grab the wrong thing.
Yeah, here, and that's another thing. Like, you go to somebody's house, you go to one of these events, like the Royal Rumble party. There were only so many wings. You couldn't it's just limits. It's limits. Where if I sit at home, I know what I'm eating. I got what I want.
What happened with the Rumble wings was they started off with the men's Rumble, and I was not ready for that. I had auxiliary wings in the garage fridge.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to them because the Rumble had started and then I was still trying to cook. And then it was like, it felt too late.
Huh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't like this might happen with the Super Bowl.
I had roughly 30 wings ready to roll. Maybe 40.
Seems like that would have been enough.
Right.
But we each got like 3 wings and a
whoa. We didn't each get only 3 wings.
We got about 3 wings and a couple fries. I think there were fries. Were there fries?
There were fries. We
all got like
wings.
Like 4 fries and 6 wings.
Scott didn't eat any wings. You and I ate all the wings. and I know I made like 30 of them. No, I probably only made like 25. Yeah. So you and I got all the wings. There were like 13 wings.
No. There was. I think you're rewriting history a little.
All right. Here's my question: where would you go with WrestleMania? Which would you prefer of these three options?
All right.
Rank them in best to worst right now.
Okay.
You had the choice. And this could be the day of Royal Rumble. The morning of. Let's go back to there. And you had your choice of these three storylines for the main event. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
And Roman Reigns versus Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh, man.
Which of those three? I know it's tough to think about because the storylines are so damn good. I'm not saying this because I'm being negative about anything.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying this because I think it's a hell of a question.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say that
rank it in worst to first.
I was going to lead with that.
I know I have mine.
Yeah. I was going to lead with that. Like,
yeah.
You know, this is a great situation to be in because, like, all of these are realistic and it's a hard choice. And, you know, it's sad that my last option is the option we're probably going to get, which is Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. But, you know, after watching Monday night, I kind of am hoping that they go with Roman Reigns versus Cody and Cody loses. His fucking dream gets shattered by Roman Reigns. I would love that. So I'm all in on that. But that's my last of the three. I think my number one of the three would definitely be Rock versus Roman. And it feels a little out of place, and it feels like it's taking away from what's already been created. That's great. But it also makes a lot of sense, and they can tell an awesome story that involves Sami Zayn and get there. And you know, he is an icon, and I think it'd just be very cool, especially in LA. And then my second option would be Sami versus Roman. I think it's just a wonderful story, and I would love to see Sami Zayn dethrone Roman Reigns. But when you start looking at like the bigger picture, I mean, it's probably the right thing that that's not the main event.
For The Rock?
No, for Sami.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he's not going to win.
Yeah, I mean, he would have to win.
Yeah.
Sami has to win. Rock and Cody are both the toss-up. Roman can win either of those. But
I think Roman would beat The Rock, I would think. I don't know, though. Like, I mean, I think that's why he'd be coming back to finally, you know, help push it over for that.
But you can't have The Rock win the titles.
Dominant for so long. Like, it's not like this would push him to a new status. Like, how much more of a status does Roman need at this point?
Yeah,
it's tough. I think The Rock is number one, then Sami 2, and then Cody 3. I think that's where you ended up there.
Yeah,
and it's because you could say taking a spot from other people and whatnot, but it's also just a built-in storyline.
Yeah, it's a very good story. But
it's been there for a long, like this one's also been there for a long time. It's been sitting there. I mean, you can go back long, you know, it's been there since The Rock.
When you look
been there forever as well.
When you look at the booking aspect of it, I think the problem is that The Rock cannot win the world title. And to give the rub of finally beating Roman Reigns to The Rock is useless. It's a waste of a long, arduous journey just to put the rub on The Rock. Like, The Rock doesn't need that, obviously. I think The Rock versus Roman would be a great SummerSlam match after Roman's kind of like lost his kingdom. You know, insult to injury, The Rock comes and says, you know, I don't acknowledge you. Let's have this match. Like, I think, I mean, obviously the better stage is WrestleMania, but I think the more appropriate stage is SummerSlam without the titles on the line. Sami Zayn, obviously, he'd be kind of a transitional champion, I don't know how long you can have the title on him. He is a great wrestler. Maybe like he proves it, but I just have a hard time seeing the big picture with Sami Zayn. Obviously, it's a feel good moment. I couldn't find my passport. I was looking for my passport because I was actually considering going to Montreal in 2 weeks to be there for that match because that crowd is going to be fucking electric. That is going to be one of the hottest crowds.
It's in Montreal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Montreal.
Yeah. How much heat is Roman gonna get?
Yeah, Roman accepted the match saying, I want to beat you down in front of your family and friends. What does Sean say here? I'd love to see Sammy win it after being the MVP of last year, but I think they're going to put Cody over to prove to anyone in AEW that jumping ship is a good idea. Yeah. I don't know if they're putting that much thought into the AEW thing, but I do think Cody is most likely that. I mean, that's the match they're promoting. That's the match that's going to happen. I think after last night's Monday Night Raw with the Paul Heyman segment, fantastic. I'm one of these guys who don't like Cody. I see through Cody. I find him to be. I mean, when you really break down who Cody is, he's John Cena all over again. He's the corporate suck-up who, says all the right things, is in the right places at the right time, puts himself over, puts everyone else over. He's a really nice guy, but there's just something like that's douchey about him.
That must be that's the AEW fan in you because they were booing him before he left.
Yeah, no, and I agreed with those AEW fans. Like they saw it, we got there. Are we going to get there again with Cody in WWE? I think so, man. I think people are going to burn on him really fast. Now, if you really look,
then he better win it here. Like you've got, I think you have to complete that story for Dusty.
Yeah,
for me, it's like complete that story for Dusty, and I get what you're saying and everything about Cody, and I know you've talked about that with me in the past and on the show, but I think that's part of the mixing of reality and,
yeah.
I think
the story
he puts it out there that's who he is. Like he's really putting it all there.
The Cody story is very good, and it's commemorable. Is that the word? To what he's done as a person. He was told you're only going to be a mid-card guy, and he said, I don't accept that. I want to go outside of WWE and prove I'm more than a mid-card guy. And he went out of WWE. He went to New Japan. He worked the Indies. He helped co-create AEW. And then he came back, and now he is a top player. He is the guy who won the Royal Rumble. He is the guy in the main event of WrestleMania. That's huge. That's a great story. But that doesn't mean the guy is going to be likable along the way. And that's my concern is long-term. Now, I honestly think the best thing they could do with him is actually have Roman Reigns crush his dreams, beat him at WrestleMania, keep that heat, keep Roman Reigns going. Now, I don't know what Roman Reigns' plans are. Like, he might want to take a year off. Like, it might be to that point where he just wants to step away for a little bit. And that's understandable. And plus, you have a guy who holds both titles who only works part-time. I'm sure they would love to get a guy who's going to be there every week, which sounds like what Cody Rhodes is. But I would have Roman beat Cody and then continue Cody's chase because I think there's more value in Cody Rhodes chasing a title than holding a title. I think once he holds that title, he's now just the douchebag with the title.
Yeah,
the story's over, and I don't know what the next story is. Now they had Walter go 1-30 in the Rumble, 1-29 in the Rumble, and he obviously has a case to make against Cody Rhodes. So it seems like that's a built-in feud outside, after Cody wins the title, if indeed he wins the title. Seth Rollins has a case for the title. Like there's paths. Like I could picture what the main events are going to be with Cody Rhodes as champion, and they're probably the best option of all three of them.
Can I? Yeah, I want to jump a little bit here. AEW. So Cody lost in a stipulation match to where he could never challenge for the AEW world title.
Right. Horrible move.
But it's actually kind of perfect because him never having been the world champion there, now him coming here to get this title, it doesn't diminish the AEW title by him going for the WWE title, now the Holy Grail.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like if he had been champion of that for a year or two or whatever, I think that diminishes the AEW title a little bit that he's going for this. So maybe
I agree with that.
You said you see through the Cody bullshit. Maybe it's been kind of part of his plan the whole time. He's like, well, I won't, Tony, I'm not going to do the title here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. And maybe I'm digging way too into that, but I think in the long run, it regardless, it actually helps the AEW title out.
It does. If Cody were to have won the AEW title, this would have been more crushing for AEW than it is.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that. Whether Cody intended that or not,
yeah,
I mean, it's plausible. It's given his personality, and he does seem to be a man of high character. Like, that comes across as real in his betrayal. I mean, it's almost too just. It's almost, which is why I think he's hated, or not hated, but it's why I think people caution him, because he's so pure and moral and does the right things, that sometimes that just raises red flags with people, or you just don't like that character type, and I think that is who he is. So yeah, we'll see. It's very interesting. Most interesting wrestling's been.
Sean is out there watching right now. I saw just this week that you're officially retiring from the ring, Sean, and I just wanted to congratulate you on making this decision, and best of luck in the future, man. I'm not that familiar with what y'all do. I know you've cut a couple promos on us. I'm going to go watch some matches here. I see one on your page here with the Giordi Bulldogs. Al, remember when we fucked that up on the
yes. You got it.
Here, I'm going to take a look around, but it looks like there's a lot of folks out there that are saying some really great things. Congratulations. I wish that we would have crossed paths a little more, and I wish I was over in your neck of the woods where I could watch a bit more, but congrats on that retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I miss that. That's good. Good to see.
Max Pro Wrestling says Sean Denny has announced his retirement from professional wrestling. We here at MATW Max Pro Wrestling would like to express our gratitude for all he has done for the business, for us personally, and for Max Pro. Denny had a great 20-plus year career and worked with a lot of great promotions and worked with a lot of great talent. He is considered to have one of the best minds for the wrestling business. Al, maybe we should have listened to him a bit earlier then. And yeah, in the business. And some would argue that he's one of the best in mid-Atlantic. Love him or hate him, you have to admit that every time you saw him step between those ropes, you absolutely, without a doubt, knew that you were about to witness something special. Thank you, sir.
Wow, I see a young match,
and you will be missed tremendously. Go ahead.
That's beautiful. I see a young Sean here with a young Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
Bryan Danielson. That's huge.
I'm gonna have
cool
to see.
Stuff.
I'm gonna have to go take a quick look around here. Yeah, congrats, man.
Look at that Mighty Mouse tattoo. How about that? You get a title just for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to do a deep dive into his career, but maybe we'll get him on here. We'll talk a little bit about it.
Well, if he would, I'd be honored. It'd be great. So,
we had Gringo Loco, a couple months ago.
Yeah, Sean, I'd be honored to have you on sometime here. So, that's awesome. Congrats, man. Yeah, that's a tough question though. Back to the main event, like which storyline? They're all solid. Like I think wrestling WWE right now it took me a while to jump on board with you, but a lot of it is going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff.
The Usos as champs It it all
Well,
works.
next,
Like, they're the number one, like in all of wrestling. Like, there was talk of
yeah.
tag team wrestling with FTR and stuff. But I mean, they all know. You've heard them talk in podcasts. They're like, the Usos are firing on all cylinders. We'd love to find a way to get back with them. And it seems like FTR's kind of might be heading back that way too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely rumors they'd like to come back, but we'll see. So Jay Uso no-showed last Friday's SmackDown. The tribal chief was upset about it. He yelled at Jimmy, but he later apologized for losing his temper. It's WrestleMania season, and he feels like everything's out of control. This week, Friday Night SmackDown, the Usos are defending their tag team titles against the winner of the tournament, the tag team tournament that just completed.
Are we wondering if he's going to show?
Is Jay going to show up? That is the question. Now, Sammy helped win. Sammy jumped in a couple weeks ago as a member of the Usos to win to retain the tag team titles. Can Sammy jump in and screw them? Is Jay going to show up? Is Roman going to say, Jay's not here? Forget it. Just leave the titles. We have more important things to do. And then Jay and Sammy end up defending the titles. There's just so many great. It's a wonderful hook. I can't wait to see what happens Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Al,
and then
I've been
2 weeks in Montreal.
A lot of this. I've watched some of Raw's. I've watched some of this. I'm finally on board. When we watched the Rumble together, thank you so much for coming, by the way. I had a great time watching wrestling with you again. That main event match and the culmination of Sammy's time in the bloodline. It was just done well. It was done so damn well. And you didn't know for sure, even because they've teased it so much, him getting, Roman kicking him out. They've teased it so much. When he had the chair in his hand, I was pretty sure he was hitting Roman, but I didn't know for sure. It was he could still hit KO one more time. It was done very, very well. Paul is great as always in it. I need to watch that promo with him and Cody in the ring because
it's very good.
Yeah,
it's very emotional.
I saw the part where he told Dusty, or he talked about Dusty and Paul getting Dusty's confidence back. That's legit.
And then he ends it with, "You were your dad's favorite son, but Roman is the son he wished he had."
Oh.
And then Cody fucking loses it.
Of course.
And then here's the complexity that's going on in this storyline. The way Sami Zayn hit Roman Reigns in the back with a chair is exactly the way Seth Rollins hit Roman Reigns in the back with the chair when he broke up the Shield.
They're little, that thing. Yeah. No.
So when that happened to Roman Reigns and the Shield broke up, that's what created his insecurity of trusting other people. And that's what led, in the long term, to him bringing his family in. And then he let Sami in, an outsider. And once again, he is stabbed in the back, even though it was deserved, the same way it happened with Seth Rollins. That's just great storytelling.
It's smart. Yeah, it's good. It's very good storytelling. Can I ask you about this? With Mommy and Dominic a little bit there.
Hell yeah.
I watched enough of Raw to start to see that. First of all, Edge, man, still getting the crowd. They just love Edge now. Alan, I know you're feeling towards him. You're right there with him. He comes out. He goes out there. He stands up on the fence. Yeah. Everybody's going ape shit for Edge. And you're just like, what do the kids think of him? This old guy, which I mean, he's my age, right?
Who tells dad jokes.
Yes. And is in Glamazon, which I'm sure the kids are like, what the fuck are you talking about? and I love them, but I will say this. I think they're doing a good job storytelling as well.
Yeah.
When she put Dominic up in her finisher and he yelled out, "Mommy, mommy," up there, like it's funny shit. Like, I don't know.
I also liked, it was corny, but the attack at the NASCAR race was fun.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, they showed that on SmackDown. Rey Mysterio was with an old driver, and all of a sudden Dominic shows up at the Bloodline, and he's like, "Hey, who's that old guy in the pajamas over there?" Because the guy was wearing the NASCAR outfit. He's like, they're like, "Well, why don't we solve it with a race?" And they're like, "Okay." Dominic goes, "I woke up in pissed excellence today. I feel good about it." So they go and they have a race. It's obviously, it's probably not even them driving. Of course, Rey Mysterio wins. The New Day is there for some random reason, cheering them on. And then afterwards, Dominic chucks the helmet at his dad. It was good, just good stuff. Dominic is so funny. Such a cool character. He's bad in the ring, but that's the character. That's the story. And Rhea Ripley, man, she is just on fire right now. She is over. She's over. And I hope they have
She's
her
out
beat
promoting
Charlotte.
WrestleMania like she should be. What are you doing, Beth?
Yeah.
There's a line. Yeah, it's good. So is that what is it? Is it what was the match that they called officially for it? Is it a mixed tag?
I don't know.
Elimination chamber? Are they doing a chamber?
No, they're not in a chamber. There's a women's chamber.
Is it mixed tag with Beth and Edge versus Rhea and Dominic?
I hope so. I mean, that would be my guess.
That makes sense.
Brock Lesnar had a funny line as well on Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
where he
go ahead.
He goes to the ring. He's like, ever since I lost at the Rumble, all I think about is Bobby Lashley. He's like, I go ice fishing. He's like, I know I do some coastal fishing as well because they're in Florida. He's like, but if you know what ice fishing is, I do ice fishing. When I'm ice fishing, all I'm thinking about is Bobby Lashley. I eat dinner. I think of Bobby Lashley. And then he goes, when I'm laying in bed with my wife, 4 or 5 hours later, I'm thinking about Bobby Lashley. So, yeah, he nailed that. It was good.
Good to see him having fun. You think the guys in the locker room are pissed at him? Or these days he's being used very well. Like it's perfect. I think.
Yeah. He's coming down the card and he seems fine with it. And
yep. I'm sure he's still getting paid just fine.
Right. That's just it. He goes out there for 5 minutes. He makes millions of dollars. Yeah.
Mania is Hollywood, right?
Yeah. 2 nights.
It would have made too much sense for The Rock. Like it would have, that could have been a corny look for it too, maybe. You saying like having it done at Survivor Series, which I'm pretty sure they just announced for Detroit.
Okay.
At the Ford. Should we think about trying to get that in the books?
What, going?
Ford Field?
Man, that's actually that's a good idea. I'm liking that thinking there.
Yeah.
It's not that bad of a drive.
No.
It's doable. We spend a night in Detroit. Do a little drinking.
I'm intrigued by that. Both of us have summer birthdays.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you can angle it with your family. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. We're on the same card.
Yeah. I don't need to pull that as much, but
let me just say
that it is around my birthday.
Well, just don't smoke weed around your cat and we're good.
No, dude, she gets so mad.
All right. Let's start seriously discussing and seeing about ticket sales and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be great. I bet we could get buckets to come from out west. Charlie Hogan would be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
It might be something he's going to do anyway.
I think Patrick might even been down.
Great. So we're doing a spring break trip to the Cincinnati area to a Great Wolf Lodge for a night.
Okay.
Al, it's ridiculous. If there's a spring break within 60 miles of these places, the prices are out the roof. So what we're doing is we're staying at another hotel with a pool the night before.
Okay.
And then one night at the Great Wolf Lodge. I mean, you do the pool the first night because they're just happy to be swimming again on April 3rd or April 4th, whatever that is. It's the first week. But then the next day you do a Great Wolf Lodge with an indoor fucking water park. I think they're going to be happy as hell the first night. The second night, I can't wait. It's going to be a blast.
An indoor water park?
Yeah. They're still 4 and 5, Al. Like, they're real little. Indoor water park is going to be amazing. In April, you can't swim outside in Chicago. Come on.
See, now I'm reading that the Survivor Series is in the Allstate Arena. It is, yeah.
Hang on. SummerSlam, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right.
I said Survivor Series, though. I did say Survivor Series, I'm pretty sure. But then I said summer. Yeah.
Well, I initially Googled Summer Series. So, yeah. All right. Oh, SummerSlam 2023 Detroit. Ford Field. Yes.
We got there.
All right. We got our eggs in order.
This is the best podcast, honestly, because if we don't know what's happening and we talk like we do, we at least get to the source.
Right. We always do the research live. Instead of before the show, we do it live on air so people can see the process. I mean, it's great.
Honestly, like if you're a gentleman like us and you procrastinate in the history of doing, projects in school and all of that, you waited till the last night.
Absolutely.
This is the show for you. This is your show.
We were both that guy who did we did the book report the night before.
Oh my God. Started reading the book.
Yeah, of course. Maybe even missed the day it was due. But got sick that day. And
honest to goodness, like you had to read so many pages of books, in the classes. I had a teacher who approved me reading the newspaper in the morning and reading the sports pages as parts of my pages. It happened. Just saying.
Yeah. I got busted once because one of my mom's
do not tell Hazel and Vera about that, please. Thank you.
I got busted once because I had to pass this class, and the only way I was going to pass the class is if it was like a history class or something. If I aced this book report, and I put it off to like the last weekend, and we had to write like a travel book on a location, on like a worldly location. I think I had like Sydney, Australia, and I started doing it, but it was boring. And my mom's boyfriend at the time, Robert, he ended up killing himself. So Robert decided like he was going to do it. And like he did it. He had the thing like laminated. Like I handed in like a professional travel report, and the teacher called it out. She was like, "This is too good. This is too good for your level." Like,
shit!
This is like college.
I'm sorry for you and for Robert, because I'm sure that man felt like, I'm going to help the kid out. This is going to be great.
Yeah. We got it talking to, but she's like, look, there's no way I can prove this except, like it's beyond your level. So I'm just going to let it go, because look, they just want you to pass. At the end of the day, they want you to move you on. They don't give a shit if you learned anything or not. They want you to be out of their hair.
Yep. You got any music over there ready to roll to take us out?
I mean, I can. You want?
Hazel does that. Well, I mean, that's just a quick heads up for later. Oh yeah, there we go.
All right. Was there anything else?
You ever listen to the podcast Smartless?
Who? Arliss?
Smartless.
Arliss. I think I've seen that show.
It might not be your thing. It's a good podcast. I finally got into it like this last couple of weeks here. It's Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean, the guy from Will and Grace. I don't know if any of those guys hit you too often. Maybe Ozark, Arrested Development. No. Yeah. It's a pretty good podcast. They started in the pandemic there in Hollywood, so they get a lot of great guests. That's part of what helps.
I've been watching the Criminal Minds on the Paramount Network, the new one.
It's a reboot.
No. It's not a what's a reboot? It's a continuation. Nothing's being rebooted.
Quantum Leap's a continuation.
Yeah, kinda.
I mean,
this is the same cast as before. But I always found funny on that show that the guy from Dharma and Greg, Greg, was the head of the unit, and I always hated him on that show. I always this guy. There's something wrong with this asshole. And then it turns out he was really an asshole behind the scenes, and they booted him from the show. He got voted off the cast.
That's right. Yeah. Holy shit. That's wild. Huh. Who would have thought? Dharma and Greg. Dharma ended up on one of the Walking Dead shows for 4 or 5 seasons. I think maybe the final season is going to air coming up, the Fear the Walking Dead. So they both went into other things other than the rom-com sitcom thing.
Yeah.
That podcast is great. There's 3, the 3 guys there, they're all actors. Only one of them knows who the guest is. So they start the show and then, it's the 4 of them. And then their guest, they start introducing the guest based on their credentials, basically their IMDb or their Wikipedia. And then the other 2 start guessing. And then the guest, they can all see each other. They don't do it video, but they can all see each other. And then the guest drops their curtain and they show who the guest is. It's a pretty good setup. So the other 2 didn't know. And so whoever knew, they do the interviewing. You're in radio, the people who've done the research does the interviewing, but then the other guys get to ask questions as well. It works out pretty well.
Yeah.
I got caught up. When I started out by looking to see who the guests were and going to listening to them, to those episodes, but it worked. That's all I really had to discuss this evening, my friend.
Yeah, that's all I got. Nothing else. I feel there's something else.
I'm sorry I liked you people. I will say,
no, look, you're entitled to your opinion.
No, I think maybe Jonah Hill kind of co-opted your look, and I'm a little pissed by it now that I'm thinking it out, and maybe I don't like it as well anymore.
Yeah,
because I really do. I think he was trying to go for it. He didn't get it. He didn't capture you at all.
Nobody does homeless as well as I do. Homeless chic.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we got the curly hair. We're, the beard. Yeah, that's it.
I've always wanted to dislike Jonah Hill. But everything I've seen him in, he's been pretty good.
Yeah. He's better than you think.
Yeah. Even though I didn't like this movie, the acting was fine from everybody. I thought everyone's acting was fine. I just didn't like the characters.
And they did a lot of the things where it's just them. You can tell they just start riffing on each other, like him and his sister early on in the church. It's just jokes back and forth.
Yeah.
You can tell how they filmed it. You and I probably enjoy seeing that kind of thing. I will Superbad, that movie where they were kids. I remember going to it at a theater with Derek and Jimmy and Ross, and me telling them, I don't want to go to this. I don't need to see a junior high show.
Yeah.
And then we got really high and laughed our asses off at it the entire time and enjoyed it.
Right.
Yeah. So Jonah Hill. Yeah.
Who's the fat guy
He's
who played
better
the
than
funeral director?
All right.
You know what I'm talking about? There was a movie like about a
gonna play
funeral
that song?
director. Oh, you just want to leave.
He was
All
a
right.
funeral director.
No. Never mind. I'll play.
No,
Listen, I'm going to play the
wait a
song
second.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my wife has an 8:30 call. I needed to be ready by like 8:40.
Oh,
So I have a little bit of leeway here, but I do need, if the kids are staying up, she has a work call at 8:30. So
kids are staying up.
Gotta go up there and be ready. Her new job.
Gotta
She's in the middle
go
of
up
the
there, be ready for ya. New job all around. It's time to get down and out is what we are. So long, everybody.
Don't try to be